Hi, readers of part 2. Let's begin the guided reading program with Learn Like a Pro. Now, quickly grab your book and a pencil. If you're reading this book in a digital medium, adapt this learning. Perhaps if you recall the reader's journal that we made in our onboarding session, yes, that half unused notebook of the yesteryears, bring that back and make your quick short inputs over there. But let's begin the guided reading program with the start of the book ritual. Now you might find this childish, but if you follow this along, this will be a revelation to all us as us adult reading. All right. Let's go to the table of contents first. Now, table of contents have been provided by the author, but we are going to do one step ahead. We are going to put a date around this table of contents. What it does is gives us a guide on which chapter would I need to read on a particular day. Now, many of the readers are such that I can complete this 100-page book within a day or within this weekend itself. That's not the point. We're going to read in a calibrated manner. We're not going to go over the board. We're not going to overdo our reading because it's not just about reading. It's about absorbing what you read, reading for a specific period of time, not overdoing it, and obviously letting what we learned by reading settle in our mind. That's why we are reading this book also. How do we learn better? How do we read better? So go and make a table of contents. Now, if you think of this, we are going to read chapter 1 on 18th May, chapter 2 19th, chapter 3 20th, and then chapter 4 we are going to go 21st and 22nd of May. So even a single chapter is going to get staggered into two parts because it's about note making. A lot more important step of reading is what comes next, that is making our notes. That's why the reader's journal will come into play. Now, if you see here, I've given one buffer space. Why have I given that buffer space? Because let's be honest, life will get in the way. Something else will become a very, very crucial. Deliverables, people might go off-site or stuff, anything can happen. So always have a buffer when you're making your own guide here. Now, if you go further, I've given another 2 days for reading effectively because why not? I will add my own 2 cents on what I've read from other books and all the last 4-5 years of guiding people to build a habit of reading. So we're going to read this book in a guided manner. I'll share every day's portions, but you make your own table of contents. The thing is, here there's a learner's checklist as well. So we have added 1st June. We are going to complete this book a lot sooner than that. We are going to complete it in the week thereafter between 25th of May and 1st June because of the very nature we had. If you go past that, you know what next chapter. But try not to overdo reading because there's no point about it. Now, the second thing, this is a pro tip, not very few people will say, go towards the end of the book. Begin with end in mind. Let's begin the index. Now, in the index, encircle the elements which have been covered in multiple pages. Here I've mentioned attentional octopus. I love the very word attentional octopus. It makes me remember what this book is going to address for every reader of its own. So I've encircled it. Right below that, I've underlined axons of neurons. So it's going to talk about neurons and brain here. So what it does is it creates a mental picture of what this book is going to talk about. So that is why we need to just have when we start reading this book, when we come across these words, our mind will naturally pay more attention to it, and paying more attention gives a better retention. We'll come on to the retention bit. Now there's a diffuse mode. Okay, so what is diffuse mode of learning? Very few people would be aware about it. So I've encircled it. Right below that is dendritic spines. Above that, so something to do with brain. So I'm already sure that I'm going to research about brains after reading this book. Learning and exercise I've underlined because it's many pages. On the next page there's something called interleaving. So I've underlined that. Right beside that is interleaving again, physical exercise. So the author is going to talk about the role of physical exercise in maybe retention, learning. So just encircling and underlining gives you a mental picture. Then there are a lot of again attentional octopus, neurons, so neural links. So I'm definitely sure I'm going to read about how our memory works, how neurons get connected by just having this mental picture here. Again, more neurons here. Pomodoro techniques, a very popular technique of time management. It's going to be featured in this book as well. So great reminder. Recall. The most important element of reading a book like this is recall. How do we retrieve information that we have learned? So there's going to be a lot of attention on that. I've also underlined something like hard start technique. It's just featuring 3 pages, but makes me curious of what is this hard start technique. So this is what I'm just doing, going through the contents and making my own date there so that I could remain on a guided track. Obviously, I will share my portions accordingly. So you're not just reading on your own, you have the guided path, you have thought prompts which I will be pushing across with the daily portion, and you have index to which you have made a mental picture of this. Now that's what you need to do. Took me 5 minutes to record this video in one shot. It will take you lesser time in doing this, in making your table of contents and putting the date along. I'll share a picture of this, but if you can't understand my handwriting, be my guest. My teachers have suffered all the schooling life with such handwriting to evaluate the entire question paper, mark sheet, and stuff. Just do these bits, and get started with chapter 1 today, 18th May. That's it. Happy watching and happy reading. Thank you.